Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video by yours truly. It's finally time. I now have the confidence to share with you guys my personal tier list for Etheria Restart, which takes into consideration both the PvP and PvE aspects of these characters. The way I'm doing it is I'm going to show you guys my top 10 highest valued characters based on what I have learned over the course of the past week. I've been no-lifing the shit out this game and trying to learn a great deal. And a lot of the time with this game, it actually reminds me of Monster Hunter. A lot of the time I spend on this game is actually just me learning the systems versus me playing the damn game, or like studying characters' kits instead of progressing through the game. I'm throwing that one out there because I can easily see somebody saying that I'm only level 35, or there's people who are level 50. Well, I wasn't max refreshing every day, and nor was my only goal in this beta was to get to the end game. It was more so like just learning everything I possibly can. That way I can present this information to you guys. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, starting off with Lily. I feel like there's not much to be said here. Everybody should already know about her, but just in case you guys don't, Lily is an absolute powerhouse support that has endless combo potential. Starting off with this ability, this is like the most important one. She's able to apply Twin Trick to one other target on your team. Then in the same simultaneous manner, she applies 30% speed boost to the team. Speed boost is always good. Turn meter manipulation, always good because it boosts your team forward on the action value sequence, which is very imperative for Etheria Restart, not only in PvP, but also PvE. But apart from that, the Twin Trick extends into her ultimate. She'll do AoE to the whole enemy team, right? And then she has a chance to extend all skill cooldowns on the enemy team, preventing them from doing their shit sooner, and then resets the skill cooldowns for the person that has Twin Trick, which is crazy because that means if you're using a nuker, like, I don't know, Massiah, even Rose, whoever, if you're using any DPS, they pop their ultimate, right? Then she pops her ult when she puts Twin Trick on them, resets their ult so they can spam it again. So they come up, they spam the ultimate again. If you for some reason aren't dead by this time, then she can use her buff, the one she just used to put Twin Trick on you, to then give you a 50% crit damage boost and immediately bring you back to the front again. So like the combo potential of this girl is absolutely insane. The longer the fight goes on, the more of a force she becomes. Her auto attack isn't just like a regular auto attack. No, it advances both her and the person with Twin Trick forward. So whoever, and here's the crazy thing about Lily. It's not like you only can do that with just DPS. You can do it with tanks too. Like tanks constantly applying shields or heals or cleanse, she can combo into them as well. So the value of this character, I dare say, is the highest value in the entirety of the game. That is up for debate. I think I see that because I'm more of a look aheader, right? The deeper you get into this game, the more tankier your teams become, the more like complex the boss fights and like contents become. And that's when her value starts to thrive more and more. And so I think Lily is a banger, top 10 highest value, easily uncontested. I do have this ranked in like an order that makes the value higher than the one before them. Next up, that's going to be Doki Doki. Notice it's the light and dark units. Doki Doki, I would say she is just a better version of Freya, in my personal opinion. Now, of course, this game is so nuanced that there's certain like modes where one's going to be better than the other depending on the boss mechanics and so on and so forth. But the reason I put her in front of Freya is because she can do kind of what Freya does, advance your team forward immediately as soon as she pops her ult, whereas Freya kind of like extends that into the entirety of the fight because it lasts multiple turns. But the thing about Doki Doki, where I think she has the advantage, it's this shit right here, man. Reducing allies like skill cooldowns by 1 turn 5 times. Not everyone, right? She chooses a different person each time. But like the crazy thing about that, bro, is skill cooldown so fucking broken. Sometimes all you need is that 1 extra cooldown, like reduction, just to get things shaken or to finish off somebody. And so I think this is just insanely powerful. And puts her a little bit more in terms of value in front of Freya. She also has the same thing similar to Freya, where she's giving you 2.5% damage increase, stacking up to 12 times, and a speed increase as well, which kind of just like, I don't know, makes her a force to be reckoned with. to top all of that off, you can't get rid of her. She's fucking annoying because she just gives herself ridiculous amounts of data stream stacks that just dispel everything. So it's like she's really annoying to deal with. And then this to top it off is backup, which allows you to do the exact same thing to your teammates, purify and cleanse them as well. So absolute banger unit. I do think she's in the top 2 highest value. Now, this next character might be a point of disagreement with some of y'all. You might be thinking, whoa, don't you think you're putting Mio too high? Which, let's go ahead and go over to her. What's her name again? I already forgot her damn name. Mi, yeah, Tsukiyo Mi. Don't you think you're putting her a bit too high? No, I don't. Because if you take this girl all the way up, the shit she can do, first of all, 40% attack increase immediately, right? You put a bunch of speed on her, she goes first, 40% attack boost to the whole party, much like Freya. Then a 30% speed boost to the whole party, which is really nice. Action value manipulation. But the crazy thing, or turn meter is the quote in Etheria Restart, HSR brain rot. The thing that's broken though is this shit right here, bro. So you get all that, and then she can choose an ally to make them go immediately. So you get 40% speed boost, attack boost, 30% speed boost, and then immediately bring somebody to the front. What came to my mind when I saw this is I was just like, bro, this bitch can immediately bring Hellkid up immediately. He pops ult, puts shields on your whole freaking team while dealing damage to them. His shields don't allow you to receive any debuff so long as the shield's on her. The combo potential with tanks with this girl is fucking insane. I think she is criminally slept on. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the community like that, but I feel like her value is absolutely absurd just because of her ult, bro. Like, to be able to put somebody up like a tank who can then put shields on your team, I think that's such a powerful combo. And so for me, I think picking her up, if you can, is massive. On top of that, she can silence people, and guess what? She reduces all skill cooldowns for all allies by 1 turn. So I think this girl is, yeah, I think she's insane, man. I'm gonna be honest. Tiamat. So I have an account. I'm one of the people with an account that is tankless, bro. I'm fucking maidenless right now, guys. And let me tell you something. If you don't have a freaking like tank on your account, it is brutal. It is. It's so fucking brutal. Like, I pretty much have to like CC my way out of scenarios, or I'm fucking using the welt of Etheria Restart to like slow everybody down. But I just don't have a reliable tank. I've even used her as a tank because I didn't have anybody else. And she tries. God bless her heart, she tries. But boy, is it painful not having a tank. Not only that, this girl, not only can she provide shields to your party, she can deal damage and she can heal. And there's certain boss mechanics in the game, such as, I think the name is Aurora, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this boss. There's certain boss mechanics, that's not the only one, by the way, that have little annoying things like you deal 50% less damage unless you cleanse it through healing. That girl is not only a shielder, she can heal as well and deal damage. So she applies, she's more universally valuable than Hellkid is. Make no mistake, I actually think Hellkid is T0, but again, I have to choose top 10 highest value, and I think Tiamat edges out Hellkid just by a bit because of that. That said, there's certain modes where I think Hellkid edges her out. But yeah, if there is one tank to choose in this game, I think Tiamat is it, and I think Vulcan would agree with me on that. Vulcan got to high #1 rank in Etheria with his fucking Tiamat. She's insane, and I think she's probably debatably the best character to choose on that standard banner that enables you to choose somebody. It's either, for me personally, it's either going to be Tiamat, Hellkid, or this girl. I think these 3 are insane. Now, I chose Rosa. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I chose Rosa, but I didn't realize how fucking insane Gray is. I think Rosa's a pump fake. We'll get back to that though later. Moving on, you might see 2 4-stars as the highest valued picks in the game. Yes, I think these 2 4-stars are higher value picks than like 90% of the 5-star roster. I cannot tell you, listen, I'm not a well, so I don't know about a well's perspective. I cannot fucking tell you how many times I ran into a wall and the only way to overcome that wall was by using the welt of Etheria Restart, I think his name's Marvell, and using Kraken. Because there's a lot of PvE and PvP situations, both of them, There's a lot of situations where the only way to overcome it is by preventing the enemy from going. That's going to be this guy, or preventing the enemy from going. That's going to be this guy. But the difference is some boss fights, and I'll give you a quick example. In fact, a lot of them actually. Some of these fights have like mechanisms. I think this guy's one of them. And it says he has full-blown immunity. He cannot be affected by any crowd control. You're gonna run into a lot of fights like this. Can't be affected by crowd control. And so you're like, oh, well, they're gonna rip my Kraken. I can't freeze them. But you know what? You can slow them with Welt. And so I keep calling him Welt. Marvell. This guy is gonna be the go-to person to prevent them from going because they hit too goddamn hard, especially if you don't got a tank like me. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you can't slow them, then you can crowd control them. And that's where Kraken comes in. He can freeze them. These two are so fucking cracked, and like to not have them on your account, you're absolutely gonna run into problems. No doubt about it. Not even a debate for me. Highest value picks in the entirety of the game. I just hope you get them on your account because they are 4 stars. But I did see Kraken as a rate up 4-star on the Freya banner, and I dare say it's worth pulling on her banner even if you don't want Freya because you don't think she's worth it, whatever the case, just to fucking secure that Kraken. Moving on. This girl. Don't own her. I don't need to. All you need to do is go into Doki Doki, right? Just go into Doki Doki, scroll all the way down to Hell 4 and look at this book. Yeah, these are the highest and fastest clear times. I want you to tell me what you see as a commonality between all of the fastest clear times. Yep. This little girl right here, she's in every single one of their teams with like maybe just one team that didn't run her. Oh yeah, this guy. This is the only person that did not run her, and look what he's using. Freaking the 2 4-stars right here, Kraken and Marvell. But like this girl, the reason she's so cracked is one, she's elemental friendly against this mode, right? It's all water element people. But not only that, her kit has this move that's just broken. The move says Rilmocha first deals 3 hits of 180% damage to a single enemy, right? So that's insane single target damage, with the first having a 75% chance to stun them. And then after attacking, she deals splash damage to all enemies equal to 33% of the total, right? That's crazy. It's taking in the total into consideration. Get this last part though. If the first 3 hits kill the target, the splash damage is increased to 100%. That's so cracked, man. So like, if you go and look at all the multipliers of all the characters in the game, none of them come close to this. 180 times 3, bro, is criminally like high damage. But then it turns into AoE. So she is just disgusting against Doki Doki. And guess what, guys? Doki Doki is the character in the game giving you the speed set, which is insanely valuable, giving you this set, which has a chance to reduce all ally skill cooldowns, insanely valuable. Bulwark, who cares about that? 3 very, very valuable sets are coming from Doki Doki. So like having somebody who can farm her easily is insanely valuable. And that's most certainly why I have her in top 10 highest value. Now, we got Heinrich and Massiah. I swear each day I have different feelings because I'm like, do I really need them? And then I get into a situation where I find myself having to use one or the other. I actually do think these two, just a smidge, not entirely. I think they're a little bit overvalued though. I do. I have both on my account. And let me tell you, I find myself sometimes using somebody like this over these two. Like dead ass, he no diffs both of them in certain scenarios. I find myself sometimes using somebody like this to get me over the hump, or these two, and not using them. Now, don't get me wrong, I use Heinrich a fuck ton. I really do. I think Heinrich's a little bit more valuable than him. I think this guy's more of a PvP powerhouse, but they're still highest value. I still have them up there, obviously with good reason. They can be used in pretty much all fucking modes. It just blows my mind how sometimes they're getting like no diffed by fucking four, like these two like just shitting all over these guys. So although I think they're amazing, I don't think it's game breaking to own either or. I think it's more important to secure these two, because you can always substitute in for these two like a DPS, Gray, and her. I would say like there's a lot of options. Borgny too, if you get lucky and land a Borgny, but like these guys can be replaced, is all I'm saying. But they are fucking monstrous. I won't deny that, especially Heinrich, because he not only deals damage, he enables your team to deal more damage too, and enables them to crit better. So he's crazy. Freya, the more I got into this game, the less I thought of Freya. I still think she's top 10 highest value, don't get me wrong, but it's more so because of ease of access. You can get her, she's guaranteed, you can snipe her no problem. But like I told you, I think Doki Doki, Lily, and even this girl too, I think these three are of higher value than Freya. Freya does though have her values, do not get it twisted. I still think she's so universally good that it's worth having her on your account. But I've come to understand, once again, a lot of the times I'm doing a mode and I find myself using her over Freya, or I find myself once again using other people because Freya can't get the job done. So although I think she's top 10 highest value, it's more so because she's universally fucking solid. But I do find her getting outperformed by other characters here and there. Final piece of representation of Freya, she's amazing in PvP. She is, because she's so fast. She immediately gets things going with her action value advancement, damage increase taken. She can get things shaken. She's like the first turn goer. So I think she's really good in there, and she's really good in PvE too. There's some like pros and cons of Freya, I will say, compared to other options. Now, T0.5 are the people I think can all make an argument, can also easily be considered top 10 highest value. First of all, this girl here, I think she is insane. She's like the Branya of Etheria Restart. She gives a 50% like or 40% crit damage boost to the whole party, as well as an attack boost. In fact, I'll go ahead and pull her up. Here she is. So yeah, this buff here, attack percent boost, 50% crit damage boost to the whole party. But the thing that's crazy about her is she has a revive. She brings people back to life, not just once, but like multiple times. She'll bring somebody who died back to life again. She does it all the time. And I landed her, but she then has another ability where she immediately advances them forward. No questions asked, like a Branya, and then reduces their cooldown of one of their skills that are on cooldown. So it's just like the amount of value you get from her when you're going up against boss fights where you're trying to kill them immediately. That's where she really thrives. The fights where you're trying to like, it's shell grinding, even like Tiamat and the anti-sync heroes fight. When you're trying to get rid of somebody and get them out of there instantaneously, she is going to get that job done better than a Freya will. I think you can even make an argument that she swaps with Freya, but I just don't think she's as universal as a Freya is. This guy is the boss shredder. I know a lot of the community already knows about him. Another 4-star, by the way. Very impressed with Etheria Restart's 4-star characters, bro. Like, they were not exaggerating when they said our 4 stars are not just like inferior to 5 stars. They're very niche specific. These 4 stars will no diff the hell out some 5 stars in this game. It's insane. This dude here, 400% multiplier, right? And then a follow-up attack on top of this. But his passive converts any excess crit rate into crit damage and then gives you up to a 60% crit rate boost with a good investment. Basically, this dude is designed to straight up assassinate bosses. He does so much damage, it is uncanny for a 4-star character once again. And I love his drip. Bro looks super cool. I like this guy a lot. That's the only reason he's T0.5. Boss assassin. Shit in any other modes, but if you're trying to get somebody out there, union fights, this is your guy. Tons of damage when it's just the boss. Phantom Heroes, or whatever the hell that mode's called. Let's go ahead and find it. Phantom Theater, once again, it's just one boss out on the field, so he's just gonna have a field day on that one singular target. That dude will pop off in Union, in Phantom Theater, in Grim Pursuit on particular bosses, in anti-sync when you're trying to get one person out of there. He's great. Threshold mode too. So yeah, I think that dude's T0.5. This mother, bro, I actually didn't know how cracked this guy was. He's very cracked. In fact, if you go over to if you go over to threshold mode and you go over to like Hell 4, which is the highest difficulty that people could possibly get to, You will see this dude. This guy just shits on everyone, man. And like everybody's using him. Like, look at this, bro. He's getting a 4-star, bro. Another 4-star in this game that everybody is using. And it's because he does a ridiculous amount of damage. 4 hits of 110. Oh, that's 440%. And then he gives himself a shield. So he's hard to kill. And then his passive increases his damage the lower his HP is and decreases damage taken. And then the single attack does another ridiculous amount of damage for a freaking auto attack. It's crazy. So like he's a literal DPS that just people up. He's very useful for farming modules, gear, most important stuff in the game, especially against this guy who is giving you the best like DPS set in the game. So that's, once again, that's another 4-star. You can make an argument these two can swap with Massiah and Heinrich just because of ease of access and them only being 4 stars, easier to invest in, so on and so forth. Borgny, nuker. For if you're going up against any scenario, PvP or PvE, where there's 4 people on the field, the amount of damage that he does is just absurd. Rose, I would have her in T0 if Gray didn't exist. I'm going to keep it a stack. As somebody who went full-blown big dick into Rose, like, yeah, boy. Now, seriously, though, as somebody who invested in her like heavily, she's not 6-star, right? But I straight up, I'm trying to show it to you. Here it is. I took this all the way up so she could be a follow-up machine. She's still really good. She's very strong. And honestly, if you get her on your account, great. But the reality of it is, guys, she is really more so used for her ultimate that gives a 30% crit rate boost to the entire team while decreasing the speed of the enemy. And she continuously can do this with her single attacks. Like straight up start reducing target turn meter. She's really good. But the problem is there's a lot of modes where she's just weak. Right? Like Tiamat. Rose green. He's green grass, whatever you want to call it. She's water. Weak. Can't be used right here. Not really. Gray's going to be a better alternative. And then you go into this mode where everyone's water. You can use her, sure, but they're water. It's like you could just use Gray because Gray's actually better because he's the weakness of water. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of modes where you'll find yourself wanting to use her, but Gray's just better. And he's a 4-star. And so it's like, why would I, if you're going to use your standard banner pick to secure one of the standard 5 stars, why would I choose her when there's a perfectly free 4-star option that also reduces the defense of the entire team? And it's just, bro, this dude is the Bennett of Etheria Restart, in my personal opinion. Like, this motherfucker is cracked. And so he kind of just refills, he fills her shoes. In some like modes, he's just straight up better than her. In certain situations. So it's just like she's a waste to secure as a pick because of Gray. This guy's insane. And so that's my thoughts on her. This dude, I think if you pair him up with her with that combo, probably, I think he no diffs Tiamat with this. Because like I said, he actually is a tank who can deal damage and keep your team alive and prevent them from getting debuffs. I think he's insane, but he's not as insane as Tiamat until you max this girl where she can bring him straight to the front and pop off. Also, he's just a great unit overall in terms of a tank. In certain modes, you need a little bit of heals though, which Tiamat can provide. So I think him and Tiamat are honestly neck and neck. This girl, CC machine, also can deal some damage if you want her to, but the CC of her is fucking atrocious in both PvP and in particular modes in PvE. One of them is Doki Doki. Doki Doki, she takes away that 50% damage reduction that on the enemies because she CCs them, and on top of that, she prevents them from going with her CC too. Very, very strong 5-star, but can you get her on your account? Because I don't recommend picking her as the standard 5-star. That's the question, really. Down here is just a bunch of fantastic niche units that can do a bunch of good things. Somebody might be mad that I have Chiaki in T1. I just think Chiaki is outperformed by other characters. That's all. Like, she's a support character, and I think she's not going to compete with Lily, Doki Doki, this girl. I just think there's better options. But maybe you can make an argument she can go in T0. I'm very well aware of her value. I am. This girl, she is literally, her whole entire existence is comprised of enabling other people to deal a shit ton of damage. She has an ult that just gives ridiculous amounts of buffs that enable your team to deal damage. She's niche though. This dude is a boss shredder, much like this guy, but what's the chances of you actually picking him up on your account? If you do, union fight, Tiamat fight, and boss fights, like trying to get him out of there, but he's pretty niche. This person here, good for debuffs, reducing the attack of the enemy, reducing the damage of them, increasing speed, turn manipulation, but again, a bit inferior to other options. Doki Doki is going to know differ in my personal opinion. And I think I think you could find some situations where she's actually better than Freya, but it's very like particulars. Like the T1 characters, in my opinion, are just niche. This girl is like, if you haven't got the 7-day heal from her, she's just a better version of her, to be completely honest with you. Except her revive does come into play. There's just better alternatives, but she is good for free to play because chances of you picking her up, I don't know if she's free. I forgot. But if you pick her up, she's a good filler until you get this girl, I would say. And that is Smack's tier list. Bit of a yap. I tried to get through it as fast as possible. But once again, guys, that's based off of my own personal experience, insight, and everything I've been trying to learn and delve into. I've got more content in store. You can probably hear the passion coming out of me. I've been having a lot of fun with this game. It's got some things I would love to scrutinize later on, but for now, I got more education on the game systems, characters, and progressional tips and tricks, as well as when the game launches, before I get to the criticism. Right now, I just want to focus on teaching you guys a lot of the stuff. Anyways, I hope I brought you some value. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and happiness. Catch you guys on the flip side.